Welcome viewers, I am Tutor Cletus Okoli. In today's mathematics class, we shall be solving an Olympiad mathematics question. Here we are given that if 81 raised to the power sine square x plus 81 raised to the power cos square x is equal to 30, then we should find the value of x. I want you to watch to the end and also subscribe to my channel, like my videos. Let us dive in. It's going to be an exciting video and we are going to be detailed. I am going to be detailed. Alright, we move on. By solution to this question, I am given to solve 81 raised to sine square x plus 81 raised to cos square x equal to 30. First and foremost, I want you to know that 81 can be written in index form as 3 raised to the power 4 in index form. Also, from trig identity, sine square x plus cos square x is equal to 1. From this trig identity, I can also derive that cos square x is equal to 1 minus sine square x. I am going to make use of these three representations here into the given question. So my h1 can be represented as 3 raised to the power 4 sine square x plus 3 raised to the power 4 cos square x. Everything is equal to 30. Now, the next thing I want to do is to represent my cos square x as 1 minus sine square x, since both of them are equal. That will make me to have 3 raised to the power 4 sine square x plus 3 raised to the power 4 into 1 minus sine square x is equal to 30. I will apply indices law that says that p raised to the power x all to the power of y is equal to p raised to the power xy. That means the power inside the bracket will multiply with the one outside. Therefore, I am going to apply it here to have 3 raised to the power 4 sine square x, then plus 3 raised to the power 4, that is 4 times 1, minus 4 sine square x is equal to 30. Moving forward, I'm going to apply the law of indices that says that a raised to the power x minus y is equal to a raised to the power x multiplied by a raised to the power minus y. This will be applied here to give me 3 raised to the power 4 sine square x plus 3 raised to the power 4 multiplied by 3 raised to the power minus 4 sine square x. Everything is equal to 30. Very good. We keep on moving. From here now, I can write from the negative power index in indices that a raised to the power negative x can be written as 1 all over a raised to the power x because of this 3 raised to the power minus 4 sine square x. So I can now write it like this: 3 raised to the power 4 sine square x plus 3 raised to the power 4 multiplied by 1 all over 3 raised to the power 4 sine square x. Everything now is equal to 30. What I have just done is to move out the negative sign. That is why I have it moved to the denominator. At this point, I want to replace something. Let u be equal to 3 raised to the power 4 sine square x. Meaning that anywhere I see 3 raised to the power 4 sine square x, I am going to represent it with u so that I can form an equation and make this work very simple. Doing that, I have here u plus 3 raised to the power 4 multiplied by 1 all over u equal to 30. I have now done the substitution. 3 raised to the power 4 sine square x represented as u, and likewise here also represented as u. Now, the next thing I want to do, I want to multiply everything by u so that I can get rid of this u at the denominator. Doing that here, u times u here will give me u squared. This place is the same thing as 3 raised to the power 4 all over u. So multiplying it by u, we cancel out the u at the denominator, leaving me with a 3 raised to the power 4 equal to 30 multiplied by u, which is 30u. I can now write it like this: u to the power of 2 minus 30u, then plus 81. Since we said that 81 is the same thing as 3 raised to the power 4, alright, is equal to 0. Looking at it now, it has become a quadratic equation. We are going to use one of the methods of quadratic equation to solve it, and thereafter we can move on to substitute the value of u into getting the actual value of x. Continue to watch. You know, math is life. Meanwhile, subscribe to my channel. Alright. Therefore, let me use factorization method. I will look for two numbers I will multiply to get 81, and when I add them, I get minus 30. Meaning that minus 27 minus 3, okay, can give me, the multiplication of it will give me positive 81, and the addition of it will give me negative 30. Very good. So I'm going to use this to replace the middle. That becomes u squared minus 27u minus 3u plus 81 is equal to 0. This is called factorization method of solving quadratic equation. What is common in the first bracket is u, okay, leaving me with u minus 27, and in the second bracket I have common minus 3, leaving me with u minus 27 equal to 0. If you look at it now, minus 3 times u will give me minus 3u, and minus 3 times minus 27 will give me plus 81. At this point, I can now write that these two brackets are the same. I take one of it to have u minus 27. Then forming a bracket with the ones outside, I have u minus 3, everything equal to 0. Implying that u minus 27 is equal to 0, therefore u is equal to 27, first value of u. Also, u minus 3 is equal to 0, meaning that u is equal to 3, second value of u. Now that I have gotten the values of u, that is not what I am asked to solve. I can now move into where I say, let u be equal to this, and replace these two values of u in order to get the value of x. Alright. From here, I have it, u, but u is equal to 3 raised to the power 4 sine squared x. When u is 27, I have 27 is equal to 3 raised to the power 4 sine squared x. I can write 27 as 3 raised to the power 3. 3 times 3 times 3. So here we can be written as 3 raised to the power 3 is equal to 3 raised to the power 4 sine squared x. By law of indices, when the bases are the same, the powers automatically becomes equal. So I have now the power, the bases cancel out, 3 is equal to 4 sine square x. Moving forward to the left hand side will give me 3 over 4 is equal to sine square x. Because of this sine square x, I want to take square root of both sides in order to clear sine square x. That means I will now have plus or minus the square root of 3 over 4 equal to sine x. That is, taking the square root of both sides. We now have it that sine x is equal to plus or minus root 3 all over 2. That is the square root of 4. Very good. From what we have now, we move on. Alright? If sine x is equal to this, it means that x will now be equal to sine inverse of taking the positive 1 root 3 over 2. After that, I will take the negative 1 since I have plus or minus. But then, add sine root 3 over 2. If I want you to look at this, if I have this cast, all are positive here, sine is positive here, tan is positive here, and here cosine is positive. How do we get sine inverse of root 3 over 2? I want you to look at this also. If I have something that is like this, which we call spatial triangle, here is 1, here is root 2, here is 90, root 3 rather, here is 60, here is 30, here is 2. That is called spatial triangle. Therefore, root 3 over 2, what do we do to get it? Sine 60 is opposite over hypotenuse, which is root 3 over 2. Therefore, the value here should be equal to 60. Sine inverse of root 3 over 2 is equal to 60. But then, 60 is in the first quadrant, positive. Also, 60 is positive value again, can come from the second quadrant where sine is positive. And that means we are going to do 180 minus 60, which is equal to 120. So the second value of x here is 120. Now, we have gotten the two possible values of x when we take arc sine root 3 over 2. Also, if we take sine inverse of negative root 3 all over 2, what it means is that where do we have sine negative root 3 over 2? We come back. Sine is negative in the third quadrant, sine is negative in the fourth quadrant, meaning in the third quadrant I have it that it's going to be, in the third quadrant is going to be 180 plus theta. And my theta here now, that is my plus the angle, okay? The angle here is 60, meaning the angle we got in the first quadrant, which is 60. So if I add 180 plus 60, I am going to get 240. So for when sine is negative, that is negative minus root 3 over 2, I will get 240 degrees. Again, sine is negative in the fourth quadrant, meaning 360 minus the value at the first quadrant, which is 60, and that is going to be 300 degrees. So 300 degrees. What does it mean now? That when we find sine inverse of root 3 over 2, we are going to get values of x to be 60 degrees and 120 degrees. And when we look for sine inverse of minus root 3 over 2, we are going to get 240 degrees and 300 degrees respectively. Now, these angles, these values of x are gotten when we work with a plus or minus root 3 over 2. We move on. Remember that what we have done now is working when u is equal to 27. That is here. Now, let us look at when u is equal to 3. Since we got the values of u2, we have worked for 27. From there, we got these angles. When we also say that u given as 3 to the power of sine square x, and now u becomes 3. I have 3 equal to 3 raised to power 4 sine square x. I hope we are getting what we are explaining here. But 3 is the same thing as 3 to power 1. I can cancel it out to have 1 equal to 4 sine square x. Moving 4 to the left, I have 1 all over 4 equal to sine square x. I will do the same thing that I have done here, taking the square root of both sides in order to get sine x here. That is going to be plus or minus the square root of 1 over 4 equal to sine x. That is, I have taken square root of both sides. And the square root of this is going to be plus or minus 1 over 2 equal to sine x. What we have gotten now is sine x, making use of the value of u equal to 3. Remember, we have done it for when the value of u is equal to 27. And from there, we got the values of x at 60 degrees, 120 degrees, 240 degrees, and 300 degrees. We are now testing for u equal to 3. Now, at this point, for me to get the value of x, I say that sine x therefore is equal to sine inverse or arcsine of testing for positive half first. Remember, I have plus or minus. Take note of this point. So I'm taking for the positive side. That is something I had here from this point, plus or minus. Very good. Here. That is why I have to find for positive and negative. At this time again, I have plus or minus, so I'm going for positive first. What will be the value of x? Watch out again. I have this spectral triangle again that looks like this. Okay, from this one we have sine inverse of half. Sine 30 is opposite of hypotenuse. So when I take sine 30, I will get 1 over 2. So sine inverse of 1 over 2, it will give us angle 30. Okay? So that is 30 degrees from the first quadrant. But then sine is positive in the first, positive in the second. I go for the second value when half is positive. That is when x is sine inverse of positive 1 over 2. Now the second part of it will now be 180 minus 30, which is equal to 150. Very good. So the second value is going to be 150 degrees. What does it mean? That the values of x are still coming out. That the 30 is also correct to be the value of x, and 150 also is correct. Now, going for negative sine inverse of 1 over 2, that is arcsine negative half. Where do we have negative signs? Third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. Therefore, in the third quadrant, I have it as 180 plus the angle from the first quadrant, which is 180 plus 30 is going to give me 210. So I have 210 degrees. Also in the fourth quadrant, I have it 360 minus 30 equal to 330 degrees. 330 degrees. We are done with this video. In conclusion to our question, we are asked to find the values of x, the value of x in this given question that can make this a true statement, meaning the answers we are getting for the value of x, if substituted into the question exactly in the left hand side, it must give us equal to 30. We now say that the values of x are first 30 degrees, next 60 degrees, next 120 degrees, next 150 degrees, next 210 degrees, next 240 degrees, here 240 degrees, next 300 degrees, and lastly 330 degrees. So that will be the values of x. 30 degrees is correct. If we put 30 here and 30 here, after simplifying the left hand side, you will get exactly 30. If you put 60, correct. 120 is correct. For the values I have solved are values of x ranging from 0 to 360 degrees. From 0 degrees to 360 degrees, the values of x that will be true for this question are as listed. 30, 60, 120, 150, 210, 240, 300, and the 330. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Remember to subscribe to my channel and also like my videos. I remain Tutor Cletus Okoli. God bless you for watching.